Hey everybody, it's Josh from Big Goose Ventures, and this week's vlog is really about some of you have had questions about what camera equipment we use. And so I thought, it's really hard to come up with like what people want to watch, what would be entertaining, but we do get a lot of questions about our camera equipment. And so this video is 100% about the cameras we pretty much use. I'm not going to show it in this, but we did sometimes use the iPhone 14 Pro Max, 15 Pro Max. We use a GoPro Hero 12, we use Insta Ace Pro, and we use Insta X3 360 camera. And I'm filming currently on the DJI Pocket Osmo 3, which you'll see shortly. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna show you video footage of all the cameras that we use, and then we're gonna come back inside and talk about it. So before you watch the rest of this video, as you know, I would really appreciate for those of you to comment about which camera you like the best. I am using the DJI Mic 2 right now connected to the Pocket 3, but for all the video samples, I'm not using them. So let me know what video you like the best, what audio you like the best. These are all internal mics that you're gonna see with the exclusion of when I'm here talking about them. And so go ahead and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, hit the notification bell, and let's get right into it. And here is the sample footage.
So before I show you the first camera, which is the Insta360 X3, I wanted to make sure that as you're watching the clips that are not in slow motion, that you're aware of a massive issue this camera has. It has an issue where it doesn't sync the audio to the movements of your lips. And Insta has sent me a new camera. They're aware of this problem. However, I have not ever been able to get it fixed in the Insta X3, and that's primarily why I like it for drone shots. So here's the video in full motion, and wanted to make sure you're aware of this problem on the 360 camera.
Okay, this is video on my Insta X3. They do have a new Insta X4, but they do have the same camera sensor size, but the difference is that the X3 doesn't have the same processing chip. So the X4 footage does look better. And this is actually a 1/2-inch camera sensor. So this is standard, not HDR. And what the beauty of this is I can make drone-like shots. I have a 10-foot pole, and you can see here, I'm pulling it out. It looks like now I'm a drone. So this is the Insta X3, and that's standard. And then let me see here, we'll get the next camera out. And this is the Insta X3 HDR. This is what the HDR video looks like. So I'm reframing this, so when I'm going to edit it and all the editing, I'm actually reframing it. But this technically, and I'll show you right now, I can be 360, and I can once again make like a drone shot. Okay, off to the next camera. We're gonna go to the GoPro Hero 12. So this is the GoPro Hero 12. This is on standard, this is not HDR, and it's on linear. The GoPro Hero 12 does have multiple, with the same lens it's on, you can go different lengths. So all the video you're seeing now is with the built-in mics. I'm not using any wireless mics, but when we go inside to talk about the cameras, I'm definitely gonna use a wireless mic, the DJI Mic 2, hooked up to my Pocket 3. So this is the GoPro standard, what it looks standard. I'm going to turn it off now and put HDR on so you can see it looks like the HDR. So now you have HDR on. So I got the GoPro Hero 12, which does, by the way, the GoPro Hero 13 just came out. They literally are the exact same camera, the processor, the chip, everything's the same. In fact, we'll talk about the lenses inside, but really, to be honest, if you're going to get a GoPro, which is my least favorite camera, I would just get the Hero 12 if you really want a GoPro. But this is what HDR looks like on linear mode, and real quick, I'm going to show you now what the other lenses look like on this. So I still kept HDR on. This is the wide mode. This is the wide lens. Remember, I didn't change the lenses. It's just these action cameras have the ability to have wider views. So here's wide. Now we're going to put on super wide. Okay, this is actually called super view, and I don't know if I mentioned it, which I'm going to mention. The GoPro Hero 12 has a 1/2-inch camera sensor, a 1/2-inch. It's the same size as the camera we just saw before, the Insta X3, which also has a 1/2-inch sensor. So does the X4. So that's the size of the sensor. It's not a very large sensor. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like. And now GoPro has even a wider view called hyper view, super hyper view. So you can see how distorted my arm looks in this one. So that's the GoPro Hero 12. And now we're gonna go to the Insta Ace Pro, which is also an action camera that competes against the GoPro Hero series. All right, here is the Insta Ace Pro. This is your normal color D-Warp, which is comparable to the GoPro Hero 12 linear, which means it should have very little distortion here. And so with the internal mics, so Insta Ace Pro D-Warp, this is what it sounds like if you were using this for vlogging and walking with basically what should look like a normal field of view. Now we're going to turn this off and turn on HDR. Now I have HDR on. Does it look any different? Also, this is internal mics on the Insta Ace Pro. So this is HDR, Insta Ace Pro, internal mics. Does it look any different than the regular? How do you like the color profile? Okay, this is the Insta Ace Pro. This is the lens called Ultra. So this is a wider than its linear D-Warp. And how does this look? And I do still have HDR on, so we're gonna leave HDR on now for the rest of it. But how do you like this additional length on Insta Ace Pro? And now we're gonna go into as one more further lens. And now we have a thing called Action. This is its widest field of view for the Insta Ace Pro. It's called Action, and I still have HDR on. I probably look a little warped here, as I should. And this is what the widest field of view on Insta Ace Pro is. Okay, another cool thing about the Insta Ace Pro is that it's co-engineered with Leica cameras. So I'm sure those of you who are camera buffs know about Leica, and they engineered the color profile. So this is actually Leica Natural, which the GoPro doesn't have. And we'll do an output on Leica Vivid, so you can see what that looks like. This camera really does have a lot of features that GoPro just doesn't have, but we'll get into that when we're done showing you the sample footages. Okay, and this is Leica Vivid. This is the Leica profile Vivid. And so the Insta Ace Pro definitely has a lot of different color profiles that you can add. So that's that. I'm not going to show you more because there's a ton more features we could show you. But now we're going to go into my final camera, the DJI Pocket Osmo 3, and give you sample footage of that and what the natural mics sound like. So this is the DJI Pocket Osmo 3. This camera has a 1-inch camera sensor. It has a gimbal stabilizer. And this is what the internal mics sound like if you were hand holding it. I have big hands, so I didn't bring the full grip today, so I'm just holding it. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my other camera just so I can show you what it looks like when we're filming. So now I'm gonna switch over to the audio for this. Okay, so now I'm filming on the Insta Ace Pro, and you can see how cool this camera is. This camera does have a 1-inch camera sensor, which means it's extremely amazing in low light. And I forgot to mention the camera I'm holding, the Insta Ace Pro, has a 1/1.3 sensor, much larger than the GoPro Hero 12 and 13, and larger than the Insta X3 and X4. Okay, so this is the Pocket Osmo 3, because the reason I'm showing this to you, the reason I'm showing you this camera now is because when we go inside, I'm going to use this camera to talk about all the cameras. Okay, so let's go inside and we'll talk about our camera equipment and what we use for our vlogs and why I use them. All right, and you guys let me know in the comments which camera footage do you like best. So let's go inside and talk about it. Okay, so the first video footage you saw was the Insta X3, and this is a 360 camera. And my honest thoughts, if you were thinking about starting a YouTube channel, this is a really cool camera. It's easy to use. I would say of all the device makers, Insta definitely has by far the best app, completely the best app. But this camera I really think is not a great vlogging camera. I would not use this as a solo content creator. I think this is great for POV shots, drone shots, action shots. This definitely has a problem with audio lip sync. I've had the problem with it, so I don't use this ever for any real vlogging. But I do love this camera, and people always want to use it for social media. They go, "How did you do that shot? Do you have a drone following you?" And I was like, "No, I literally have a 10-foot pole that goes up that becomes invisible because it has two lenses here when it stitches the two videos together, the lens becomes the pole becomes invisible. So that's how that's done. I do love this, but you know, if you're a solo content creator and you're thinking about picking one camera, I would not get this one. Okay, GoPro Hero 12. The GoPro Hero 12 and the Insta X3 have the smallest camera sensor, and this is obviously not a tech review about camera sensors, but that means that in low light settings, these two perform absolutely like garbage. The GoPro 12 is a really great action camera. It is for what it is, it's excellent. It has a removable lens. I'm not gonna take it off, but I've never broken a lens. I've never broken a screen. I'm not a biker. I'll turn it on, you can see how fast it powers on here. So that's how fast it powers on. The only thing I don't like about the GoPro is it always constantly has that safety lock. I haven't figured out how to turn that off, but it's okay. Since I got the Ace Pro, this is probably my least favorite camera that I own right now, the GoPro Hero 12. I don't seem to use it. I have it as a backup. It has these fingers, which I don't like. The app's the worst of all three of them. I'm just not a big fan of it. And I think because of the small sensor size, I don't like the image quality in general. It's probably on par. It's probably a little better than this for when I crop it out, because this is using the whole sensor for a 360. It's a 1/2-inch sensor. But this is the GoPro Hero 12. In daylight conditions, this is excellent. But once you go into an indoor setting like a mall or anywhere that's lighting like this is not going to perform well at all. It literally has to have full daylight, and so does this Insta X3. So not a big fan of the GoPro Hero 12. And the GoPro 13, if you were thinking, oh, I don't care about indoor light, I don't care about low light, the 13 just came out, and it's the exact same. Everything's the same on the 13 as this. The only difference is they have these lens modifications. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have time to sit there and play with lenses, so I don't really think, for those of you who are just doing vlogs like I am, like ND filters, macro lens, those shouldn't be a really big deal unless you're a professional photographer. So if you were really sold on the GoPro, then I would tell you get the 12 over 13, specifically because I don't see a huge advantage. It's literally the same camera from the inside, except for the lens kits that they have now. That's the 12. Like I said, I could never possibly recommend that. This is probably if I were using an action camera, this is probably my favorite action camera. This is the Insta Ace Pro. It's not a removable lens, but it has, the camera sensor here is a 1/1.3, which is the same as the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's quite a large sensor, and it does for an action camera, this is the best action camera in low light settings. It has an AI chip that denoises AI images. Another thing I really like about it is that, let me turn it on just so you can see how fast this one turns on. So it's turning on right now. It has this really cool flip up thing. So you can frame yourself. If you're a vlogger and you just want to vlog yourself, you can go ahead and easily see yourself. Let me put on low light. It has a pure video mode. And so this is the pure video mode. So you can see here what pure video mode looks like. So it's actually a really great camera. I really like it. The app is probably my favorite app. It's better than the DJI's app. Has really cool AI features. Just a really incredible camera. The battery, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the battery on this, I could leave the battery in this all week and the battery's fine. If I leave the battery in my GoPro, it's drained. I don't know what GoPro does, but you basically, when you're not using the GoPro, you have to take the batteries out, otherwise the battery gets drained. This one, I feel also like Insta does quite more software updates for their cameras. And this one was co-engineered with Leica, so now this one has like Leica color profile. So if you like Leica cameras, as you saw in the video clips, you can change the color profile with presets. So if you were like, hey, I really don't want an Insta camera, I don't want a Pocket 3, because the Pocket 3, which we're filming on, it's not a waterproof, it's not an action camera. It's really kind of a vlogging, 100% vlogging camera. If you want to mix between a DJI Pocket 3 and an action camera, I definitely think the Ace Pro is probably the best, easiest to use. You literally can just turn it on. You can just, that's pretty much how, when I use it, I hold it like that and my fingers are never in the screen. So that's the Insta Ace Pro, and I bought a bunch of batteries for it. The GoPro, I go through batteries when I use the GoPro. I go through at least 2 to 3 batteries. This one, I have 4 batteries. I'll maybe use 2 in a whole day. So I think the battery life in real use is much better on the Insta Ace Pro. Okay, we do use iPhones when we're in a hurry. iPhones are decent ways to do quick vlogs, but obviously I mostly film with my cameras, and now we're on my favorite camera. And you know, I had a bunch of these. I actually returned 4 of them. I got 4 defective ones when it first launched, and just my luck. But I've given it a chance, and absolutely the DJI Pocket Osmo 3 is literally my favorite camera. It's not waterproof, it's not dust proof. It does have a wide angle lens. Okay, I'm not gonna put it on. You can YouTube it, it doesn't make a huge difference. Anytime, by the way, all these cameras have a wide lens, so your face is always gonna look wider when you have wide lenses. This is actually exactly how I look, where the action cameras is not how I look. What I like about this camera is low light, the wireless mic system. I don't have to connect any wires to it, which is awesome. It does actually have a noise cancellation built into these, which I'm not going to turn on right now. And as you can see, the gimbal, which you saw earlier in the video, it can follow me. The only negative thing about this camera is, like I said, it's not waterproof, it's not dust proof, it's not something I would ever bring to a beach setting. If I'm going to the beach, this camera is staying home. I'll bring one of my action cameras. That's the only negative about this camera. I definitely would recommend, if you were to buy a DJI Pocket, get the Creator combo, which comes with the wireless mic, the wide angle lens, the extra battery pack. And also for $55, I would get the DJI Care, which is totally worth it, because this is a $700 camera with a 1-inch camera sensor. It's the largest camera sensor of these cameras, which means it's gonna have excellent image quality. You're gonna have the bokeh effect in the back. If you didn't want the bokeh effect in the back, then you're definitely gonna want an action camera, which typically has what's called infinite focus. But the other negative thing about which I think is a bonus, but you hear people complain about, is that the gimbal is slow sometimes when you're doing it yourself to turn. I actually like that, because I think sometimes I move too fast, and the Pocket Osmo 3 naturally causes me to go slower than I normally would. So those are the camera equipments we use. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. My recommendations is here as follows. Skip GoPro altogether. I'm not a fan of GoPro anymore. My first vlogging camera was a Pocket 1. I traded it for GoPro Hero 8. Then I upgraded a GoPro Hero 11. This is before the Ace Pro. Lost it in the ocean like an idiot. I forgot to bring it out with a strap. Bought the Hero 12, was very unhappy with its indoor performance, low light performance. Got the Ace Pro and love it, but I still wanted a better camera. The Pocket 3 is absolutely my star camera. I really recommend that. If you're just gonna do vlogs like this, definitely Pocket 3, nightclubs, dinners, anywhere, Pocket 3 all the way. Hope you liked that vlog. Thanks for watching, and tell us what you wanna see. It is really hard, honestly, to come up with content for you guys. We notice that a lot of people like watching bar scenes or beach scenes. If that's what you like, let us know. But tell us what you want to see or things you want to know about LA, and we're happy to try our best to vlog about it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on our next adventure. Bye.